it's now become obvious to me. I heard this press release from, I don't know if they're Republicans, but, they're not crazy people, but they are statists, right? And over in New Jersey, they just released on the internet to my ears a press conference with a couple of lawmakers who are pissed off that they have no control over this drone situation, which is it's just like the drones are actually, they by and large aren't doing anything wrong. They're just up there and unaccountable for. And, they are doing, some of them are doing something wrong because of their occupation of sensitive airspace. In that regard, then they're doing something theoretically wrong. Depending on your fucking disposition. So the drones have been going on and on and on, and now the media coverage of the drones is going on and on and on and on. And this is what droning literally is, right? And so we were watching the droning of COVID, weren't we? The drone is kind of the drum, right? This is legislating to be capable of controlling everything in the future. Because they're legislators, right? But they don't seem capable of causing action for answers about what people really want is like, what's going on with all these little things that can fly right over my goddamn house like that? Like, because these are at significantly lower altitudes. They can hover. And it's a machine. It's not like a human being and you're watching human activity. It's just this thing. It's just this fucking, it's Judas Priest's electric eye, right? And now the government is using unaccountable drones to legislate for accountable droning, right? Because they want control of the skies. They're going to want this with all the things they got going on up there. They don't want human beings doing whatever they want and bumping into little cloaked secrets in the skies, or they don't want a certain bird's eye view of tall fences and such, right? So we are in between aspects of society, right? Just like when artillery cannons were invented, the city walls became obsolete, and same thing with the airplane. The city wall becomes obsolete, right? And so this is internal, right? And the question is that, like, it would seem that some of these, because of what they've reportedly looked like, that these are big fucking things, right? This isn't a drone that you just build in a workshop and put a cool computer chip to program it. Like that we're not talking about a hobbyist nerd's like extravagant, like trying to master levitated flight system. Like that's not what we're looking at here, right? We're looking at something. I went the wrong way. I didn't get the wrong way, but I almost went the wrong way. Anyway, we're looking at something pretty damn high tech, but not like, this isn't like science fiction. It would have been science fiction, 25 years ago. But we've had little drone tech things going on for a while, on top of the stuff that paved the way for those kinds of drones, which was all the U.S. military hardware, right? And in this Jersey press conference, they're talking about being worried about their open gather. Really? You're worried about what happening with your open gatherings? You're worried that somebody with hostile intent that just doesn't like your way of life or your secret plans that they would know about because you are their enemy and they figured out you are their enemy, and you don't like the fact that they can now spy on you to collect the kind of information to initiate karmas of some sort? Is that what you're fucking talking about? Because there was a military policy in this country for a long fucking time where we would have a drone pointed at a bunch of people having a picnic, having a wedding. And then there would be some sort of order to strike that you couldn't rationalize to the American people, which is why it was kept quiet until it was forced to be brought out. And now you are doing that to us while acting like you are the victim of it for the purposes of attacking a person's right to operate a drone. Because you're not interested in conducting a proper investigation. All you're doing is arguing about protocols that you can't follow up on, and now we're scared. Dude, for years and years and years, people using their fucking drones. Drones are FCC tagged, Federal Communication Commission tagged to operate, okay? And you're telling me that, yeah, like I don't want to go into the same rants that they're going into, because that's all a fucking trap. It's a garbage fucking trap to get you convinced that there's a tiny bit of a right that needs to be taken away, right? Because these drones are an extension of I can go across here, yeah. Because those drones are kind of like an extension of like of your First Amendment right, because of your right to bear witness, right? But obviously, you need to be able to have an ability to deal with it in your own accord, right? Like, you need a shotgun, to shoot one down, and you're not going to ask anybody's goddamn permission. Now, they're not flying low enough for shotguns, and they may have superior tech. All they have to do is drop a fucking bomb on your house, right? And I promise you that this is a campaign that may have a hot element to it. For all we know, this is all being seeded to trip off in 2025 like COVID did, right? As you know, the drones right now, like we're all sitting there like, ugh, oh my god, here in America. But then the drones will start magically being reported all over the fucking place, just like positive COVID symptoms, right? This is obviously the attempted play, right? Because once again, the idea is that your elected officials can't do anything with a sufficiently rational fear of freedom, right? And if the public that gives the power to these people projects that fear, that's gonna take over any fucking funky little speech about freedoms, right? You know? We were way too interested in being afraid to have freedoms after 9/11. Right? We were way too interested in being afraid to have freedoms after 2020. We have to break certain fucking cycles. This is so obnoxious. I was determined. Well, and it's still gonna happen. It's just obnoxious. It's just like I was determined to make a pit stop for coffee before I embarked up to the gig that I'm going to tonight. And there's like no goddamn parking, obviously. Alright. So anyway, I don't want to be droning on and on and on. But this is the macrocosm that they want you droning on and on about, right? It's just like, it's like to say, you know, find something else to obsess over, because as long as you're obsessing over something that we can pour our agenda into, we can keep this going even when we've lost, right? And so we need an incident to obsess over for 4 years, just like we had an incident to obsess over 4 years ago for forever. And to use that incident as a coping mechanism for why we don't understand why we didn't get what we want, whether we won or lost an election. And all of this is meant to keep you completely fucking distracted from being in your own power, because they want you to think that you have nothing that can't be absolutely destroyed in a heartbeat all the time by anything, right? Because if this is a psyop, it means that your government is what's droning you as a false flag operation as an excuse to keep you safe, which is the most likely fucking answer, which is really coming mostly from us feeding ourselves that bullshit. And, alright, I'm parking in here. And so, you have to reframe the argument. You have to really understand the real problem, right? If you don't understand the real problem, which is that nobody wants to take personal responsibility for the changing world, and so they want to give that responsibility to government, So therefore, why would I ever have to protect myself from obtrusive objects in the sky? That's what I give all my money away for, right? And that's what they want. They want all your money because you don't want to deal with this. And they're putting that idea in your head that you don't want to deal with any of this. I mean, granted, we don't want to deal with this, but we will deal with this, right? And that's my point, right? It means I don't want drones. I don't want to deal with this. But because this is, I will deal with it. And that's the mindset you have to have under these circumstances, right? Because you don't want to contribute to its perpetuity. And then you have to change those rules if people decide to 2020 on you and turn against you for some reason. All I know is that I'm a stone's throw from where all this bullshit is happening, and it hasn't spread here yet. And I find it suspicious, and everybody ought to find it suspicious why this is a New Jersey isolated problem. Is this going to shape national policy, state by state, at the very least? Things are very strange, and I don't know if we've heard what Mr. Incoming in January said he knows about it or would do about it. All right, I'm gonna get some coffee. Hold on, let me see what's up with you guys. Who are you people? Have you been trolling me? All right, play God is a dangerous job. Of course, all this shit. All right. Okay. All right. So let's see. You are no longer a part of this channel because you have no idea who I am. All right. Let's see. Okay. And I am hiding you from the channel because you're a disgusting fucking bot. Alright. Alright, there we go. Alright, cool. Alright, smart asses. Catch you later.